चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. So today a very wonderful verse. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ratkarna rasayanah katha tajjoshanadashva avaparga vartmani shraddharatir bhaktir anukramishati. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in the society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. So, I was speaking on a subject matter yesterday at our temple, and the topic was of creation. Why I found it very relevant to today's verse, because the two qualities of a devotee, when we say we should hear from devotees. So yesterday one devotee was messaging me. He was a little frustrated. He fought with some, he had always fighting with some devotees and this and that. He said, how do you define devotee? Because sometimes they behave sometimes worse than regular people, sometimes better than normal people. So how do you actually define a devotee? So the definition is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the very beginning, and here also in the beginning it says Satam Prasangat. So in the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it states Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the first word itself, Vasudevaya. So Vasudevaya means what? So Krishna's father is Vasudeva. And then the state of understanding Krishna is also Vasudeva. That means, Srila Prabhupada explains, when we, if you understand the creation, that is in the third canto, 26th chapter, you will realize that the state of mind, that is Shuddha Sattva, Krishna can only be understood in Shuddha Sattva. Actually, one Mataji had asked when I had given class last time, what is this Shuddha Sattva separate from Sattva Guna and transcendental Sattva Guna? But When I did further research, I have to apologize. I found Shuddha Sattva is when sattva is not mixed with any other quality. When sattva is not mixed with any other quality, then what remains is Shuddha Sattva. So Shuddha Sattva is when Rajo and Tamo Guna have become completely neutralized. They are zero. This is very, very important to understand because Rajo and Tamo Guna are the ones that drag us down. When you expose yourself to Rajo and Tamo Guna, without your extraneous effort, without our extraneous effort, we develop thoughts of Rajo and Tamo Guna. So we don't need to do anything much. When Rajoguna and Tamoguna engulfs us, automatically you develop Rajo and Tamogunic thoughts. What are they? Deep material attachment, excessive attachment, madness, selfishness, then feelings of superiority, then keeping away. So all these Rajogunic and Tamogunic thoughts, even without your extraneous effort, when you expose yourself to a particular guna, these thoughts come into the mind. So what happens with us devotees is, although bhakti is causeless, because transcendental knowledge, no matter even if you're in tamoguna, it does enter your heart, because the spiritual knowledge is so powerful, the spiritual message is so powerful. That is why people, when you chant Hare Krishna, it benefits everybody, even an ant, even a elephant, even a cow. It benefits everybody. It penetrates, because ether, sound contains sky, means idea, the space for activity in sound. That is why everything starts with a concept. Everything starts with a concept, and that sound, within sound has ether, space for activity. So when a particular idea is conveyed, it gives the space for, maybe you could do this. When you convey it to somebody, that space, it is contained within that to do that activity. So when you think, your mind expands, oh, I can do this activity, so within this purview, so it has space, and then space for everything else comes in. Now this transcendental sound penetrates any material space, and it touches the heart, touches the soul. But to what degree is there a change of heart? So when we come to ISKCON, we become devotees, then to what extent, to what degree that sound has penetrated into our heart? Now, here is the real difference. The first verse of Bhagavatam, it says, Vasudevaya. So this Vasudeva. So what is this Vasudeva? The Vasudeva is the state of a Shuddha Sattva. Also, a devotee acts in such a way that he cultivates more and more and more Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna. So when the Sattva Guna becomes predominant in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that there is Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna are constantly fighting. And because of today's situation, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna, they are becoming prominent. So what happens? Mind is very disturbed. Mind is getting attracted to material thoughts. And because of that, it takes out time. We take out time to only engage in material activity. Like today, of course, although it's important, but we take a lot of time out for elections, this, that, so many things. Therefore, we have to realize that this rajoguna and tamoguna are the reason, the cause. So when we say, oh, I'm feeling disturbed, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, we are feeling all disturbed, all because all diseases, everything comes because of rajo and tamoguna. This is the basic in creation. And then when you come to Sattva-guna, all those thoughts disappear. Oh, he did this to me, he cheated me, I lost $1,000,000, I have to take revenge, this, that, all this comes in Rajo and Tamoguna. Moment you transfer yourself to Sattva-guna, all these thoughts automatically disappear. This is when you have an opportunity to become a stable devotee. When we come to Sattva-guna. This is what Srila Prabhupada's dying words, when he before he took samadhi, he is speaking. If you read that, if you watch that tape, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Rajogun, Tamogun, this is making people suffer, so I want Varnashrama people to come to Sattva-guna. It did not really strike me. But when I was doing this creation, the third canto, 26th chapter, when I was reading it, I really understood that what Srila Prabhupada meant. That devotees are fighting, devotees are doing this, devotees are feeling disturbed, devotees are getting diseased. This is all because of Rajo and Tamoguna. Then all we have to do is transfer ourselves to Sattva-guna. But the principle, the idea, yes, we have to chant Hare Krishna, but chant Hare Krishna in the mode of goodness. For example, even when we dance in Kirtan, sometimes it's like, it should be sweet for the pleasure of the Lord, with a mind where we forget the body, but instead it turns out to be competition or this or that, so many things that can go right or wrong. So the devotional aspect is to transfer ourselves to Sattva-guna. So when you transfer yourself to Sattva-guna, there is phenomenal growth. And what is the second important result, second important quality of a devotee? So we read, also understand in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that who can access the Srimad Bhagavatam? The one who is non-envious. The only one who is non-envious. So envy is the biggest danger. The biggest danger for a devotee is envy. And when we become envious, then we are tending to be fault finding. And then general, this fault finding, I mean, you won't believe it, that to the degree it is present in our temples. It's to such a big degree. So because of this, so what is the root cause of this? So the root cause is that when we are in Rajoguna, if we are serious about cultivating spiritual life, then we have to be very serious about cultivating Sattva-guna. Because by Sattva-guna, automatically these kind of thoughts go away. So you don't have to be anywhere else. You have to be in a place of which is comfortable for your spiritual cultivation. You have to be in a place where it is where you are spiritually properly situated. For example, for a grahastha, it is his home, children. Temple is not for everybody. One rare brahmachari might go. But in general, a devotee, he focuses on whoever is present, and cultivating them in Krishna consciousness means giving up. There are two words which are very important in the Yoga Sutras and the Bhagavatam, he says Abhyasa. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna explains, and in Yoga Sutras also Patanjali explains the same thing, Abhyasa and Vairagya. So these two things are very important for a devotee. The only way one can cultivate himself is by chanting, is by practice of chanting and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Because after chanting, if we do not read and study systematically Bhagavatam, immediately we are transferred to Rajoguna. So sometimes we feel when we are chanting, if we are not attentively chanting, then our effect is reduced anyway. That is why it is said aparadic chanting doesn't give you much result. But aparada shunya can liberate you at least. But the only thing that gives prema nama is shuddha nama, but that is very rarely attained. So the chanting should be such that we should think after this chanting, even if this is Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, even if you consider this to be the last day of your life, you should chant like that, as if this is the last day of your life. You should chant with such intensity when you are chanting any particular day. Your chanting should be such intense chanting. So we understand that this chanting has to be serious, has to be very, very important. But we find that after our chanting is over, in general, we generally go back to our regular activity, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So all our thoughts come back. The biggest enemy, according to the Bhagavad Gita and the Yoga Sutras and Srimad Bhagavatam, the biggest enemy that we have, who is our biggest enemy? It is our own mind. It said somebody did damage to you, they are gone. Now your life is in your hands. But the memory of an action from previous life, from previous millions of life, all those trauma, suffering, anger, everything, all those feelings are stored in your mind. And whom do they haunt? You. The more these memories keep popping up, the more your past keeps popping up, the more your habits keep popping up, the more your trauma keeps popping up. This becomes the biggest obstacle to your devotional life, not the person itself, but the memory. So the Bhagavatam says, so the Yoga Sutra states that there is no other enemy in this world except your mind. It exists only in your mind. So there yoga means there needs to be an implosion, means all this needs to be blasted away. All this memory needs to go away. Jayapataka Maharaj was speaking very beautifully in one lecture. He said, as we cultivate bhakti, all these memories, they become insignificant. All these vasanas, they become insignificant, but they remain. But in the Bhagavatam, also it states that a devotee, by the process of devotion, pure devotion, he can act as though the mind does not exist. So the mind, during creation, if you see, the mind is generated from the ego, and when ego is transferred by cultivation of sattva guna, the mind is generated. So mind is in the mode of goodness, supposed to be. But when it is continuously, because of the previous experiences, because it is pushing you towards a material revenge, because it is said in this creation, when the ego, cosmic ego, is being transformed. In Sattva-guna, it becomes the mind. In Rajoguna, the cosmic ego, Ahankara, becomes intelligence, Buddhi. So literally, Srila Prabhupada explains we have two types of Buddhi, and it took me a lot to understand. But yesterday, if you read 3rd canto, chapter 26, it describes the two types of ego. the intelligence, the first intelligence we have in general is material intelligence. So this material intelligence is the tit for tat intelligence. Oh, he has so much money. Jeff Bezos is richest man. Warren Buffett is rich man. So I should be at least a millionaire. So our life is comparative. And oh, he did this to me. Now wait, let my chance come. I will kick him out. Material intelligence, tit for tat intelligence. So this is the basic intelligence in the mode of passion that we have. Oh, she did big Bhakti Vriksha in her house. There were 12 items. I will make 16 items. I will show who is bigger devotee. Intelligence in the mode of passion. But a devotee, now Satam Prasangat, coming back to this point. So who is this devotee? Now who is above this? Rajoguna and Tamoguna, who exhibits quality of Sattva When devotion, somebody said, when devotion comes above entertainment, because usually we want to show everything nice, but the substance within the heart should be nice. So he said that this devotee means one who has cultivated Shuddha Sattva to a greater degree. That's why we keep chanting Hare Krishna. There is some growth, but we really, Gaur Gobind Maharaj says, when you chant, if you don't cry, there is something wrong. So I was thinking, oh my God, that's too much. But in reality, a devotee means he is working 24/7. We are working 24/7 to cultivate every moment. We are watching, we are meditating, we are watching ourselves. What they call as mindfulness today. We have to keep watching all our actions. And if you keep watching yourself, if you keep watching your thoughts, then you will realize that what kind of thoughts they are. Just look at the symptoms of Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Clarity of thought, serenity, peace of mind. When all these things are attained, oh, it is in Sattva Guna. Are you getting revengeful thoughts? Arey yaar, kahe ka revenge? I'm feeling so good, so better. What revenge? Everything is up to Krishna. But when Rajoguna is there, wait, let time come. Let me teach him a lesson. So Tamoguna means, yeah, let us destroy him. So in this way, and sometimes some bitter memories stay for so long, they kill our bhakti. There was one thing which I realized when Brahma in the third canto gets attracted to Saraswati. When Brahma got attracted to Saraswati, he felt ashamed. He got attracted to his own daughter. So the next thing I read in the Srimad Bhagavatam is that Brahma gives up his body. I thought, oh my God, Brahma died? No. What do you mean Brahma gave up his body? Brahma gave up his body means Brahma gave up the mentality by which he got attracted to Saraswati. Died means that mentality is dead. So basically, to cultivate ourselves into the mode of pure sattva, this requires a whole lifestyle change. Living in the mode of goodness, fasting, meditating, seriously, continuously reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and associating with such exalted Vaishnavas who are on that platform of Sattva Guna, Shuddha Sattva, who have given up all the modes of passion and ignorance. So one should associate and take advice from those devotees. You have to be very clear. Those who have cultivated Sattva Guna, because Sattva Guna means he is always thinking of your good. Very rare in this world we find people who think of your good. So that is why Guru, uh, that is why a disciple is meant to do service to Guru or Hitam for the uh, benefit, for the cultivate, for the benefit of the Guru. And the Guru, because he is on the platform of transcendence, because he is on the platform of transcendence, all the words emanating from him are on the transcendental platform because he has surpassed Rajoguna and Tamoguna. He has situated himself in Sattva and whatever he speaks is stemming from the platform of Sattva and it is changing the heart of that devotee. And he is changing the heart of that devotee. Therefore, we have to realize that we have to choose the association of, and to what degree you want to choose association. Association means first thing is hearing and chanting. Systematically, sincerely, we hear and chant. And we hear from the devotee. Service. Associate means associate with performing service. And by performing service, not like personal, oh, I want to sit with him and chat some masala. No. Association means where you confine your interaction of service to Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada, he was very insistent that the devotees hear the class. They engage in all sorts of services, but the primary service is to hear, is to serve, because Shravanadi, Shravana by Seva, that is also a Seva. So the Seva is to hear and chant. The main service is to hear and chant, and that is our main fodder. So here in this verse it explains that the spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in the society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens and gradually one attains firm faith in. So gradually one attains firm faith, in due course develops into attraction and devotion. So gradually one develops firm faith. So now our faith is there, but it is a little wobbly. Because when the worst thing happens to you, immediately our first thing, the first casualty is chanting. Whenever difficulty comes to our life, the first casualty is chanting because our faith is not strong. In fact, the more difficulties come, the more we should rise. The more difficulties come, the more we should rise in the face of difficulties and improve our devotional situation. We need to cultivate more and more sattva, because when we cultivate more and more sattva, all the positive proper energy itself attracts to you. The positive energy itself attracts to you, gets attracted to you. So as it is stated here, so when we are continuously, when we keep focusing ourselves continuously in association of those devotees who are in sattva, those people who are in sattva, then we do not criticize, we do not put down, we do not fight, we keep away from all negative aspects. Then what happens when, if one hears from devotees? Now devotee we have already discussed, defined. So there are two things here. So that is Shraddha, faith, Ratihi, attraction. Anukramishati, will follow one after another. The way of transcendental experience quickly opens and Gradually, one attains firm faith that in the due course develops into attraction and devotion. So, what is stopping our devotion is the feelings within our own heart. So that is why it is, as I said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vidyate Hridaya Granthis. So the knots are sitting in your own heart. So the knots of, no, I will not do this, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. All these things are sitting in our own heart. And because these knots are sitting in our own heart, and these knots are becoming a hindrance. So basically, there is nobody who can stop devotional service. No power in this world can stop devotional service except our own unwillingness, except our own feelings within our heart. No external power has the strength to stop devotional service because devotional service is transcendent. Your circumstances might make it difficult for you, but as the degree of difficulty increases, and despite those difficulties, that is what it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when somebody suffers, during that suffering, if he tolerates that suffering, saying that it could have been worse, but by it is all Lord's mercy, which is very, very difficult, in fact, sometimes impossible to do when we actually suffer. But if one actually does it, then he gets the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Despite, so this body, this mind itself is such a big suffering within which we are suffering a lot. So we have to realize that this suffering can only be overcome by placing ourselves in Sattva-guna. It's the easiest solution. Keep good health, keep focus, and cultivate Sattva-guna and associate with only those that elevate you. Sometimes we realize we have to give association, devotees have to give association, not that we degrade to some material association. So even among devotees, we have to be intelligent that we don't get into topics of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, because then it degrades the quality of the conversation. Krishna says the conversation that pleases me is at the level of Bhagavata. So when everybody is speaking to each other on the spiritual platform only. So that is why I realized that that's why we did this fasting. One of the most important ways to cultivate Sattva-guna is by fasting. So we did this 7-day fast with which we have come out with this new book, Food for the Soul. And many spiritual practitioners, yoga practitioners, meditation practitioners, everybody gets into fasting. Because in the body, it is said, the more you have toxins, the more you have excess fat, and even we may look very normal and healthy, but in the belly and liver, when there's excess fat. So this is also a significance of Rajo and Tamoguna. In our feast, we eat puri, we eat fried, we eat paneer heavy, all this is Rajoguna. So one should eat light. So devotee means he's not so much bothered. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't be extravagant in eating and sleeping and enjoying. So one should eat light, one should eat very simple. So first it begins with the eating process. Devotee eats yukta hara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapna avabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Look at the guarantee, dukkhaha. So whatever suffering you have, if you do yukta ahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapna avabodhasya, eating, sleeping on time, waking up on time, yogo bhavati dukkha. First is yukta ahara, proper. Although we say vegetarian, there are so many articles where it challenges that vegetarian food can be unhealthy. So if we actually don't eat proper vegetarian food, do not eat at right time, do not sleep, do not fast well enough. See, Ekadashi is one opportunity to fast, which we end up feasting. I mean, what can be a greater opportunity to fast and recover? Because if you see Madhva Brahmanas, they fast 3 days, they do 3 day fasting. And so this fasting, they are able to sustain the fasting whole night, because that is Sattva Guna, Ekadashi night, because it brings about Sattva Guna in the body. So, like that, the first process begins with Atyahara or Yuktahara. Atyahara is the negative part, Yuktahara is what is needed. So, first thing everybody talks about is food. So, most important thing we change when we come to devotion is food. But at the same time, we end up with heavy feast, heavy food. This is the most destructive aspect. So if we eat light, a yogi should look like a yogi. He should eat food as much as is needed for his bodily activity only. Because excess food, when you eat too much, it hampers, it slows you down, it puts you to sleep. So that is Rajo and Tamoguna, excess eating, when one cannot control his hunger, when one cannot control his taste buds. One should be controlled enough to eat only as much as is needed for him to eat, not that he has to simply eat. So everything begins with the mouth, what you consume, and the ears, all the senses, the input of each senses. So one should hear, discuss transcendental topics, and one should understand this tattva very, very seriously. And always strive and plan and strive. At one point, somehow my body had become so tight because of too much traveling in the name of preaching and this and that. And then I thought it was impossible to recover the body at this age. And then one devotee yogi suggested, why don't you do a fast for 7 days? And that really changed. You can reverse anything, and you can, so any health problem, you can practically even reverse cancer if you watch. So even karmis know that by sattoguna in the body, one can reverse any chronic disease. Now this affects the mind also. Now we don't realize, but certain, because of overeating, this, that, our body is, the bodily is, this thing is a symptom of the situation in the mind. So a devotee's struggle is to come to the mode of goodness, and by coming to the mode of goodness, it's like opening a door, prakasha, to light. The body becomes serene, the mind becomes serene, the intelligence becomes fixed, rajo and tamoguna gone, so all bad habits, addictions gone. So we should continuously strive to adopt a lifestyle and to seek out higher association. And our goal, we should be very, very firmly fixed. We are not looking for position, we are not looking for any big, platform. No, we are only looking to serve Krishna to the best of our ability. And in that service, in doing that service, we please other devotees, other living entities, and always act in a way which is beneficial for others, and to elevate us and themselves. When we have that mind where we are only trying to help others, so by helping others, by only thinking of cultivating how I can serve others in such a way that they also grow, they also elevate. By thinking such a way, I also elevate. So even when we hear something wrong, negative, remember when you criticize somebody, that negative thought that is in your mind, you that mind forms into that particular thought. So even thinking somebody is doing wrong, this that it forms a thought in your mind. So the greatest obstacle is the thinking in our own mind. So always think in terms of cultivating. Always think in terms of cultivating yourself and others, and trying to inspire. And when your thoughts are always situated Vasudeva in the state of Sattva Guna, then you will realize that uh, in the Yoga Sutras it says it's a seamless flow. It's like when a river is flowing next to your agricultural field, a farmer, there is a field, and the river is flowing next to the field. All that the farmer has to do is create a gap so that the river water can come in, create a canal for the river water coming, and the river water will continuously flow to Sattva Guna. To be in Sattva Guna, to be in the association of devotees who are in Sattva Guna, to associate with those people who are in Sattva Guna, to who are fixed up, is like opening that canal. And that seamless river water will flow into the field and will enrich your heart, will enrich all the seeds of devotion. So that is how we should be very careful and open up that channel and connect there. And by connecting that, we grow seriously over a period of time. And as it is said, as it is promised in this verse, it is said, if one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in the due course develops into attraction and devotion. Hare Krishna. So I will stop here. Thank you so much. And any questions or comments, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very, very beautiful class. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That's a beautiful class. Is there anybody having any questions for Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Padma. Please accept me humble obeisances and our greatest Sri Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, you mentioned about there's a book you have written, Big and Soul. What is the book called, Prabhu? Where is it available?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, Priti Vilasini Mataji became the 50th to prepay the book. So, we developed this book especially for the devotees and yogis, especially. So, it's on foodforthesoul.net. So, basically, um, at one point, I was going through a health crisis and seemed no way out. So then Yogi Charu, who was very inspiring, who is my inspiration, and he told me, you practice yoga, you teach yoga, but because of certain stress, you have come out like this. So all that you have to do is fast and practice yoga at the same time, because you cannot just fast, the effect will go away. To maintain the effect of that fasting, you have to develop sattva guna. So by fasting, you reset your body, and then I realized that all the problems that I had, everything, chronic problems, everything reversed. All health problems went away. I was amazed. And not only that, I saw this video, the signs of fasting, where people fast even month. Even if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch that fasting video. So when I realized that eating right means really focusing on eating sattva guna. So fasting is a very, very important aspect. That is why we fast on Janmashtami Ekadashi, at least 2 days a month, at least. All the appearance day of all the Lord's appearance day, we fast. Why do we fast? Because the fasting keeps the body in sattva guna, in the mind focused. Because moment you eat, everything goes slow. So our eating should be in such a way that we don't feel sleepy, and that's it. We don't go into rajo and tamoguna. So we came up with this book. We call it, which is all sattvic fasting, with the how to fast with the lemonade juices, even if you cannot fast, without water. So then we even for and we did it with several devotees online. We did, just to, and we found that many devotees had autoimmune other problems, devotees in Dallas, Houston. So summer 2 months I'll be touring with this, and I'm coming up with a book on the mind. So our focus is to help serve devotees, to maximize the advantage that we have. And this devotees, this Mataji from Houston and two Matajis from Dallas, so they reported so many of their health problems. They are feeling so much better. They can wake up early in the morning. So this is called Food for the Soul on foodforthesoul.net. I actually had put it in the group.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for the very beautiful and inspiring class. And I can also share the link again on the group.
Oh, okay.
There's a good chat.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a nice class. I just have one question. Yes, like you mentioned about the work about aftermath, you have changed like.
Can you be a bit louder, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Now you can hear me?
Yeah.
So I said that yes, from your class, I do agree about what you mentioned about how Prabhupada said that eating too less and eating too more is not good. And as devotees, we should restrain ourselves when eating all that kind of prasadam that basically hindrance in our spiritual life, and we are not able to wake up early in the morning. But one of your statements in the class that you said that that I was not able to understand properly. The statement that you said that all the puris and all the paneer and all the heavy foods that we make for the Lord, they are all in mode of passion. So how can any item which is offered to the Lord can be categorized in any of the modes? Because prasad is transcendental, right? So can you comment on that statement?
Yeah, see, I fully agree. The quality is there. But Srila Prabhupada clearly mentioned, let me tell you what Radha Govind Maharaj told me. These are not my words, these are words of Radha Govind Maharaj. He said, Prabhupada said that paneer, what we cook, paneer makhani, paneer this, paneer that. Prabhupada said that is poison. Prabhupada said, Radha Govind Maharaj told me that when you add salt to milk, it becomes poison. Paneer in sandesh with sugar, milk with sugar is in its natural state. Milk with salt is poison. So first of all, paneer product is there, but when you make it delicious, paneer sabjis with salt, Radhagovind Maharaj said it is Prabhupada introduced that ahar only to attract meat eating Westerners. If you read the Bhogarti song, where is paneer there? If you read the description of the shakha of the of all the, if you listen to the Bhogarti song, there is no paneer there. It was Prabhupada or something which was like an emergency necessity. Just to attract Westerners, they needed something solid. Just like if you go to any vegan cook, vegan food store, all they do is fake meat, because those who have taste of meat, then you have to attract them. So Radha Govind Maharaj said, that is why I never ate paneer, because it is not for yogi. It is only for the beginners to get attracted. That's all. But we have made it a festival, he says. It is so heavy, it is so destructive for health. But what to do? That is what our devotees are attracted to. We should come above this attraction, he said. I was completely confused, because this is our staple food in our festivals. So when he said that, so then I began to think. So then I also was wondering, when Prabhupada said puri. Prabhupada was every time was cooking puris. Prabhupada cooked puri only in ghee. He never used oil. In Ayurveda, there is never usage of oil. Tela, tila. That which comes from tila is taila. Pure til oil is vata nashaka, means it kills the vata in the body. Only coconut oil and til oil can be used for cooking, but actually in rare cases. But in general, Srila Prabhupada said something that is to be offered to the Lord, when fried, it should only be in ghee when you offer it to the Lord. That is why I was thinking, how come Srila Prabhupada is eating puri? Fried is not good, But when you see, if you read the Lilamrita, Srila Prabhupada first teaches these devotees how to make ghee with butter. And only in ghee he fries that. And that is why everywhere in they make this fried only out of ghee. That once Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he was cooking for Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, put some mirchi. And Srila Prabhupada was, when he said to put mirchi, Bhakti Charu Maharaj did not put. And Prabhupada said, after eating, he said, you did not put mirchi in the sabji. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj said, how could I put some mirchi? So Prabhupada said, you do not know that when you fry in ghee, the tikshnata, the heat in the mirchi goes away, and only the little bit of astringent taste remains. So when you fry in ghee, it changes the quality to sattva guna. It is a transformation. So ghee has that power. So Prabhupada told Bhakti Charu Maharaj and others that you should cook only in ghee. That's for devotees, only in ghee. But we cannot eat everything in ghee also, because we don't have such a strong digestive system. And when you use inferior oils, this is not at all recommended, something that can be offered also in of course we do out of love. That is for our pleasure, but not for the Lord's pleasure. So similarly is paneer. If you look at any Ayurvedic cooking, if you look at the Bhogarti song or the traditional cooking, there is no paneer, is nowhere there. Paneer sabjis are nowhere there. Paneer is there only for Sundays, only for sweet foods. So that is why I was astounded. I was speaking to one very senior devotee. He was saying that in Bombay they have this counselor meeting, all these devotees, and they have late night feast with vada pav and this and that, all these puri sabjis, like late night you cannot eat so heavy because you want to wake up early in the morning. And fried Prabhupada allowed only in ghee. And today, of course, we do not have pure ghee available, but whatever is available, So Mahaprasad should only be in ghee for the Lord. For you, okay, we can cook, So therefore, the most of the food that we eat is basically in terms of taste and not the and actually, if you see in the traditional Vedic Ayurvedic cooking, there is what we use today is wheat flour and rice. Rice and wheat is our staple. So rice and wheat is our staple. But in general, it was millets, jawar, bajri, all these different. So this is why this This is a very important part of our book where we have focused on the sattvic ahar. And we did not focus on the frying part so much, on the ghee and others, but generally cooking with these millets and superfoods. So that was uh, because today's, like a report says, that today's food have one third the nutrition that was there in the regular organic cooking. So flours and all these things, they really have practically no energy value. So we should be very careful in selecting good foods, good quality foods, and also offering those good quality foods to Krishna, and also for our own stomach, because offering to Krishna and offering to our own stomach, because our own stomach there is Vaishwanara, who is the Agni, in the fire. He's sitting in the belly, and when you eat food cooked with ghee, it is yagya. And when you do not cook with then when we eat with oil, it's actually not the complete yagya. So there were so many things which I learned from Radha Govind Maharaj himself, which I was surprised. But then I realized that if you apply this, you will see that it has a lot of principles of sattva guna. Hmm?
Thank
Hare
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Great answer. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have
Hare
one
Krishna.
question.
Yes.
So, because onion and garlic are like kind of rajasic food, so they say that we should not use those in our food. But if you look at they used to say in Telugu, they used to be some of the ఉల్లి చేసిన మేలు ఉల్లి వెల్లుల్లి చేసిన తల్లి కూడా చేయదు అన్నట్టు there is some saying, right? So they, and also if you look at literature, there is a lot of evidence that this garlic is very good for health for lot of reasons. So I'm not sure. So, like, for example, if you want to tell this to people who is in the medical field, right? This is they right away say that this has so much medicinal values. Why it is? It's not. It's going to impact your health. So I'm just wondering if you have any suggestions.
See, the thing is, eating regular food is different and medicine is different. So garlic has, yes, it has some medicinal value. We agree with that. We do not disagree with that. But at the same time, we have to understand that that garlic is also categorized, onion and garlic is also categorized as aphrodisiac. So along with the medicine, there is a side effect, that is increase of rajoguna, a very high increase dosage of rajoguna and tamoguna. So this side effect is there. So although the medicinal effect is there, there is side effect also. That is why we eat it sparingly. So those who have heart glycerides in the heart, those who have blockages in the heart, they are advised to take these garlic tablets or garlic eat little bit. So they are advised, but not anybody and everybody, because it comes with everything comes with a side effect. In material world, everything, like in Bengal, they knew there was no water in the surface left, so they dug deeper. They found water, but along with the water, all the water they found, because they dug so deep, all the arsenic in the ground, that entered into the water, and all the water became arsenic contaminated. So similarly, they found water, but it was arsenic contaminated. So similarly, garlic and onion is medicinal, but you don't want to eat it to such an extent that your mind is disturbed all the time. It can be taken. That's why they make it into tablets or garlic oil or things into medicinal properties, but not like regular eating as such. And it is not, And the second thing is, we cannot eat in general what is not offered to the Lord. So it the Shastras definitely state that we we do not eat on a regular basis, because we cannot eat what is offered to the not offered to the Lord. So that is why it is taken in a medicinal form. In a medicinal form, we have to take so many things which we generally don't eat. So that is fine, but not in general, So that is the point.
Got it. Thank you.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for putting that point about dance and other food items also. I would like to, look at the book also that you are discussing about. So fasting means the general fasting that you are referring is like without water, Prabhu?
No. We see, one day fasting without water is fine, but in general, if you take water, you can, in general, water is recommended. So that is why in our book we have recommended fasting with, we have made a series of ekadashi juices, with chia seeds and different things that actually hydrate the body and cleanse your entire body, so you get the complete effect. So water is very much important, because we have so much toxins today. And in today's world, because of the heat and pollution, it's better to keep ourselves hydrated. Many devotees, after dry fasting for many years, they stop it, because it's not very good for today. We are Kali Yuga body. So fasting with water is very beneficial, is recommended also. And especially in this book, you will find that we have put all these lemonades and other juices which will keep you very much in like sattva guna, and because it does both. Water does both. It keeps you hydrated, at the same time it absorbs the toxins and throws it out of the body. So I would never recommend dry fasting. Water fasting is very beneficial. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody having any more questions or comments? Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Mataji, I have one question. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is Kamudiki Dasi. I like to find out the book that you are mentioning about the fasting and yoga. Which book is it? What is the name of it?
Oh, this book we just we released it, Mataji. That is written by my wife and me. So it is called Food for the Soul. And the Prithvi Vilasini Mataji said she will share the link. It is on foodforthesoul.net. So this book has 250.
It's already on the group, Prabhu.
Oh, it's already on the group. Okay, yeah. So this yeah, okay. So this book has all that is needed for fasting or sattva guna. What are the foods, and we have made 100 recipes there, and we are coming out with the kids book as well. That's all we are doing now. We are just writing books for yogis and devotees. So yeah, so it's there. It has it's called Food for the Soul. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, is there anybody having any more questions or comments, Prabhuji? There are no more questions or comments for Prabhuji. Let us offer our obeisances to Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas.
Vancha Kripasindhubhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind ki
Jai.
Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Great Gaurav Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. being recorded.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much. Hari Bol.